Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
We've got 5 fascinating tech stories lined up for you today. First up, we'll dive into a secret, almost unbelievable $1 trillion plan to build a robotics and AI hub in the Arizona desert. Then, we'll look at how Nvidia and Foxconn are planning to have humanoid robots build their most powerful new hardware. After that, we cover the BBC's threat to sue an AI company for copyright infringement, which is sparking a war over who owns information. Our fourth story looks at the US government's move to revoke special permissions for chip giants to operate in China. And we'll wrap up with a safety expert's stark warning that Tesla's new Robotaxi service is, in his words, inherently unreliable. Let's start with a single number that sounds like science fiction. $1 trillion. That's the reported price tag on a secret plan from SoftBank founder Masayoshi Son, codenamed Project Crystal Land. The goal? To build a massive industrial complex in Arizona dedicated to robots and artificial intelligence. You know, this isn't just about a few factories. The vision is to create an American version of China's sprawling manufacturing hub, Shenzhen, right in the US desert. To pull this off, Son is reportedly courting the biggest names in tech. The plan involves trying to team up with the world's most advanced chip maker, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., or TSMC. Tech giant Samsung is also reportedly being sounded out. The strategy is to create a powerhouse capable of bringing the most advanced technology manufacturing back to the United States. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is that a commitment of $1 trillion would be double the size of another colossal tech initiative, the $500 billion Stargate project aimed at building out data center capacity with SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle. So this isn't just an investment, it's a bet of unprecedented scale. Of course, a plan this massive comes with inherent risks. Its feasibility hinges on getting major support and potential tax breaks from the US government, with a report noting that the plan's success depends on support from the Trump administration and state officials. And while SoftBank is keen to get TSMC involved, it's not yet clear if the Taiwanese chipmaker would even be interested. So the big unknown remains. Is this a visionary plan to reshape global manufacturing, or a $1 trillion fantasy that's too ambitious to ever see the light of day? We were just talking about a massive vision for an AI and robotics hub, and that brings us perfectly to our next story, where the robots aren't just a future goal, they're about to become the builders. The company building the brains for the AI revolution, Nvidia, and manufacturing giant Foxconn are in talks to deploy humanoid robots on the factory floor. Their mission? To assemble Nvidia's next-generation AI servers at a brand new factory in Houston. This is the first time an Nvidia product will be built with humanoid assistants, and the first Foxconn AI factory to use them on a production line. And the timeline for this is surprisingly aggressive. The two companies are aiming to have these robots at work by the first quarter of next year. While you're still making your 2025 plans, they'll be training robots for complex tasks like picking and placing components, inserting cables, and performing delicate assembly work. This is a huge milestone in a technology that promises to completely transform manufacturing. It's a move that validates a bold prediction from Nvidia's own CEO, Jensen Huang, who said just months ago that the widespread use of humanoid robots in factories was less than 5 years away. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play here. A global race is on. Automakers like Mercedes-Benz and BMW are already testing humanoids on their production lines. Tesla is developing its own, and China has thrown its national weight behind the technology, betting that factory tasks will soon be performed by robots that look and move like us. This all points to one thing. The era of the humanoid worker is arriving far faster than anyone expected. The robots aren't just coming for jobs, they're now building the very assembly lines of the future, leaving us to wonder who will be first to master this new robotic workforce. So, while companies are racing to build the physical future of AI, a legal war is brewing over the digital fuel that powers it. Information? For the first time ever, the BBC, one of the world's largest news organizations, is taking legal action against an AI firm. The target is Perplexity, a popular AI answer engine. The charge? That Perplexity's chatbot is reproducing BBC content verbatim without permission. The BBC sent a letter demanding Perplexity stop immediately, delete all BBC content it holds, and propose financial compensation. The letter states this is a clear case of copyright infringement and that Perplexity is ignoring the digital do not enter signs on the BBC's website. The BBC claims this is highly damaging to its reputation and undermines audience trust. What really brought this to a head was Perplexity's response. It wasn't an apology. Instead, they came out swinging with an incendiary statement claiming, "The BBC's claims are just one more part of the overwhelming evidence that the BBC will do anything to preserve Google's illegal monopoly." Suddenly, this isn't just about copyright, it's a three-dimensional chess match. Perplexity is trying to reframe the entire fight, turning a defense against copyright infringement into an attack on a supposed conspiracy between the BBC and Google. The stakes are colossal. This isn't just one company's battle. The Professional Publishers Association, representing over 300 media brands, says this kind of AI data scraping threatens the entire UK's £4.4 billion publishing industry and the 55,000 people it employs. This is more than a lawsuit, it's a declaration of war over the future of information itself. The core conflict is now public, a legacy media giant fighting for its life against a new tech disruptor. The outcome could redefine who gets to own the facts in the age of AI. Speaking of high-stakes battles, the conflict is escalating from the courtroom to the global stage. The US government just sent a clear message to some of the world's biggest tech companies. Your special permissions to operate in China are being cancelled. According to reports, a top US Commerce Department official has informed global chip giants Samsung, SK Hynix, and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, or TSMC, that their waivers to use American technology in Chinese factories will be revoked. For years, these companies all key US allies operated under special exemptions. That era is now over. The market reaction was instant and brutal. Shares of critical US suppliers that equipped these plants immediately tumbled. Lam Research fell 4.7%, while KLA Corp and Applied Materials both sank nearly 4%. This isn't just a policy tweak. It's a move with immediate billion-dollar consequences. This decision effectively makes it much harder for foreign chip makers to operate in China, where they produce vast quantities of semiconductors for everything from smartphones to cars. The official line from the Commerce Department is that this creates an equal and reciprocal process. But the reality on the ground is a massive tightening of the screws on the global supply chain. At its core, this is a strategic escalation in the tech Cold War. The US is moving to cut off China's access to advanced chip technology, and it's now willing to disrupt its own allies' lucrative operations to do it. This move forces a choice and redraws the map of global tech manufacturing, leaving everyone to watch and see how these titans of tech in China will fire back. While governments and corporations redraw the global tech map, some companies are pushing ahead with ambitious product launches right here at home. Tesla's long-awaited Robotaxi service is about to launch, but a safety expert is now sounding a serious alarm, calling the core technology inherently unreliable. He warns, eventually you will lose connection at exactly the worst time. So, the thing is, behind the curtain of full self-driving, Tesla's plan relies on human teleoperators remote drivers who can monitor and take control of the vehicles. The company is starting with a tiny fleet of just 10 Model Y SUVs in Austin, and even CEO Elon Musk admits they are being super paranoid about safety. But experts are pointing to a massive potential problem. The system depends on cellular data connections. A former CEO of rival Waymo, John Krafcik, calls remote driving very risky because of potential signal lag. And while that might seem like a manageable risk for a small test, one Carnegie Mellon professor scales it up dramatically. He says that while a failure might not happen with 10 cars, with a million cars, a dangerous disconnection is going to happen every day. This decision brings both potential benefits for innovation and comes with inherent risks to public safety. While some companies like Waymo use remote humans as a phone a friend for the AI, others use them as virtual backup drivers. It's unclear just how much control Tesla's teleoperators will have, but the company has advertised for employees who can remotely perform complex and intricate tasks. The alarm bells are ringing so loudly that a group of Democratic Texas lawmakers is now formally asking Tesla to delay the launch, citing public safety concerns. This leaves a critical question hanging in the air. Is this a cautious first step for a revolutionary technology? Or a high-stakes gamble on a system that still needs a human holding a virtual steering wheel from miles away?
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.